Still to my brother was happening.
Hey, fantasy, it's session. We talking touchdowns, receptions, interceptions. They got a ban the kicker. We need that correction. Swap them out. We flexing. How many of y'all you collect? We trying to get that winning record. Fantasy, it's session.
Yeah. What up, though?
And we back. Week 14, part 2 in here, boy.
Hopefully, what it is, hope is what it should be. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy in Session, the podcast. Today is December the 10th, and the boys is back in town. Week 14, part 2, like my partner Javar said. Hope everybody is doing well. Playoffs are among us. You know what I'm saying? Dalvin Cook came back and did his thing last night.
That motherfucker need to wear a harness every goddamn game, boy, because god damn.
Yeah,
you know what it was, bro? He was like, he was going to miss, but then he started doing a little research himself. He was like, wait a second. They giving up this many yards to fucking running backs over the last 5 weeks, bro? I'm playing.
Right, I can make up for the game I missed. Hey, Carlos, I can make up for the game I missed.
Hell yeah, bro. Like, that shit's crazy, bro. Like,
I know I had capped everybody down. I want to apologize to everybody out there for last episode. I thought because they was back now.
Yeah,
the players was back.
He went out though.
You know what I'm saying? Did they play Monday?
No, they played Sunday. They played the Ravens.
They look so tired out there.
Yeah, they just haven't been good, bro, on defense, and it's weird to see that because I'm so used to Steelers always having a good defense, bro. So for them to be struggling like that, man, giving up 200 yards to a freaking running back or whatever, bro, like that's very shocking, bro.
You know what sucks is all the people that was like looking at like their opponents all week, like, yes, Dalvin Cook is out. Dalvin Cook is out. Dalvin Cook is out. Psych, Thursday night, Dalvin Cook. Not only does he play, this motherfucker goes and puts up 200 yards and 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, bro.
And he had like ridiculous. A couple passes too. Like, get the fuck, bro.
And people were talking about like sitting him. Like, should I sit him? If I have Madison, should I start Madison over him? How much is he gonna be used, bro? Like, I can't imagine what anybody's going through that actually sat Dalvin Cook, bro. Like, nah, bro. And that's why I fuck with Shefty, man. Shefty plays fantasy football, bro. So like the updates he gives, bro, you can tell they be catered towards fantasy football. Like he said he was gonna play, but then he made another alert pretty much saying that he's expected to get his full workload, bro. So once he said that shit, I feel like it was,
Facts. It was over for me.
Yeah, just all gas, bro. Just go ahead and start him, bro. But yeah, that was crazy. Vikings almost blew it though, bro. They was up 29-0.
That was crazy.
That was
crazy. Hey,
and they literally almost
look like
lost.
Falcons out there, my boy.
Exactly. I was thinking that shit, bro.
Is the truth. That's also what we need to understand. He is the. I think he is. He is dynasty wide receiver one conversation.
Oh, he was this year.
Definitely an argument for it.
It was him and AJ Brown at the top for this year.
I'm talking about coming into like in a startup draft right now.
He was already one last year.
He's saying for next year though.
Into a startup draft. If he was to startup draft right now, who is the first wide receiver you taking off the board? Javar.
It's between. Yeah, go ahead, Javar.
Yeah, I'm taking JJ. In that offense, Thielen declining. He can do it all, just gonna be him and Cook right now with KJ Osborne coming in. But he's looking to dominate and get a lot of targets, unlike what they was doing to Diggs. So I like that. And yeah, man, he'll be the number one in Dynasty for sure.
Who your number one?
I don't know about for sure, man, because you got that guy out there in Cincinnati, his former LSU teammate, who literally was playing like he was a veteran, to start the year. So yeah, he hit the rookie wall, or he's not connecting those deep shots lately. But I mean, come on, he's a rookie. Like, and the fact that he's even in the combo just lets you know how good he's gonna be. So you got him. I think that's CeeDee Lamb.
Oh yeah.
It is a lot of good talent out there at the receiver position. But
I like CD and what you call it, but I like Chase too. But a lot of his plays were
he's not the wide receiver one.
Who
else would be in the discussion though, bro?
That's it. Who's young and around his age right now is just CD.
Is AJ Brown not there no more?
Got DK Metcalf, he should be in discussion. Diggs still should be in the discussion.
Not in Dynasty. They
Devonte Adams should still be in the discussion. I mean,
older.
He's not. Yeah, but he's not going to fall off a cliff. Like, what do you think about
Dynasty? I'm talking about if you're drafting right now. Your first wide receiver. I'm talking about Javar. If you're drafting, your first wide receiver you're taking off the board is who? That's what the question.
With like redraft or
motherfucker Dynasty.
Yeah, I said JJ.
Okay.
JJ CD. I'm going young. I'm going young, and I'm looking for young and top 5 because if you
exactly, and that's what it comes down to.
To be number 1. So
that's how you play Dynasty, bro. Is do you look at it like a 3-year window? Do you look at it like a 5-year window? Do you look at it like Javar's looking at it like a 15-year window?
My number one
15-year window, then of course these younger guys are going to be the wide receiver 1. But if you're looking at it in a 3 to 5-year window, like Devonte Adams should be in that discussion, bro, because he's not just going to fall off a cliff. Yeah, they're not just going to fall off a cliff. They've shown you multiple years of wide receiver 1 production, and he's only 29, so it's not like he's 40, bro. So
yeah, I think Cooper Kupp.
I'm not saying
he's my wide receiver 1, bro.
I'm not saying he is.
No, not maybe not.
In Dynasty, that's what I'm saying. Bro, about to be 30, ain't he? When you get a
22,
23,
not everybody just wants the young, just the super young receiver.
But
I want guys that's going to produce for the next 3 to 5 years. So I think
but all those guys.
You think Devonte Adams is the number one?
But they still top.
I'd say he's in the discussion. I probably wouldn't say he's number 1. I probably would go with Chase or Jefferson, but I'm not just going to like dismiss a guy that's been putting up wide receiver overall numbers multiple years.
Yeah,
and I think Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford got at least 2 more years of this of like just dominance like together. That offense is not going nowhere. That's what I think.
Of course, for a team, somebody going to have Devontae as the number 1. But I'm saying if you come to the pick and you the first person to pick out a bunch of wide receivers, you're not going to be like, oh, let me go get in Dynasty.
Think about it.
Oh, let me go get Devontae Adams.
That's why it's a slow draft.
Why AJ Brown sitting up there? Why CD sitting up there? I don't see that.
I'll take Adams over AJ Brown still.
Yeah, I think I'm taking Adams.
I'll take him over AJ Brown still.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's given if him and Aaron Rodgers is still, you know what I'm saying? But it depends on where you go.
There's a lot about it going with. You don't know where you're going to land. There's a lot about it going. You can get somebody in a position where you know he's going to get his targets for the next 2 to 3 years. It's about to be a lot going on with that boy.
Y'all got anything else about Thursday night?
Claypool need to chill his ass out, bro.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even talk about that. That was wild.
Come on, man. Like, this dude is one of the most talented receivers in the league, bro. But his mental awareness is just shot, bro. Like, why are you celebrating your first down when y'all need to spike the ball, bro? Like, that shit was ridiculous, bro.
Okay. You want to talk about Claypool? Man, I love Deontay Johnson. I be going to bat for him, but this is back-to-back weeks. Butterfingers done drop touchdowns, bro.
That's facts. I'm just talking about mental. Like, you literally costing your team seconds when they need as much clock as they can get, bro. And he's over here celebrating, bro. Like, I can deal with the drops, bro. Like, people gonna drop passes, bro. But goddamn, bro, I don't need you acting like a fucking college kid out here, bro. In the NFL, bro. Like, that was ridiculous, bro. I ain't like that shit. They ain't making excuses about it, bro. Like, bro, nah, I couldn't. The ref wasn't there, bro. So even if I would have got up, he wasn't by me. Like, no, bro, on your shit, bro, and just move on, bro.
He should have been like, yeah, I saw him, bro. He lucky I just mushed him. I wanted to slap him. Then call it a day.
Y'all got anything else about that game? All right, let me give a moment of silence out. A second moment of silence, all the kings and queens out there.
Shout out to Demaryius Thomas, man. Rest in peace to a legend, man. He was a fantasy legend for a time, bro. Like, yeah, he's definitely gonna be missed, bro. Young, 33 years old, bro. So 33.
What the fuck is that?
A phone.
All right. That wasn't part of the moment of silence, but let's go ahead and give a moment of silence up. It's Dolph, and we back. Let's get into this wild news and notes out there since the last time we potted, bro. Friday, of course, is pretty much one of the final injury reports out there. So let's get into it. Shaequan Barkley is not on the injury report, after being listed with the ankle. Galladay is questionable against the Chargers. He's expected to play. Sterling Shepard is expected to play against the Chargers. Kadarius Toney is out against the Chargers. The 49ers, Elijah Mitchell is out. Deebo Samuel is questionable. Jamal Williams has tested positive for COVID, or he's placed on the COVID-19 reserve list. There are also TJ Hawkinson is doubtful, and DeAndre Swift is out.
Who's going to be replacing DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams? What's that dude's name? You ain't about to just slide right past that shit, bro. He said that shit fast as hell. It's like Godwin what? Godwin what? What's the name?
I know. Did we cover that game? Or we already did?
I hope so. I don't think I got it.
I think so.
Godwin Ajawubiki. That's what I came up with.
IG. Just call him IG.
Yeah, big IG.
That's it.
How much are y'all trying to get him on the waiver wire? Y'all trusting that?
It's a bad matchup.
Well, I've heard that it's Jamar Jefferson. I've been hearing like this. The handcuff isn't clear, bro. Because I've been hearing Jamar Jefferson and I've been hearing this other guy. So and what I've kind of been doing, like seeing from my research, is Jamar Jefferson is the early down back. He's been he profiles as the guy that's going to be getting the runs between the tackles, and the other guy Godwin. He ran like 25 routes last week, so he projects to be the passing down back. So if you're expecting him to be down, expected to be a blowout type game, then yeah, the other Godwin. But if you're expecting to be close, which they have been in a lot of close games this year, bro. Like contrary to belief, bro, like they haven't got blown out but like twice this year. So if you expect that to happen, then Jamar Jefferson.
Shout out to Casey, bro. Make sure you like and subscribe. Should I start Nick Chubb or Zeke this week? I think did they rule Tony Pollard out already?
He's gonna be a game time decision, last I heard.
I don't think he's gonna play though. It's like a foot injury. You can't start both of them.
Right. If you can't start both of them, if Pollard don't play, of course start Zeke. But if Pollard is playing, start Chubb.
I'm still going Chubb either way.
I think I'm going Chubb.
Zeke just hasn't looked like Zeke this year, bro. He's playing with an injury himself. So, and Washington has been playing pretty good defense against the run, over the last like 5 or 6 weeks. So, Chubb only got 8 carries when they played Baltimore in week 12, but they just had that game, and I think they're not going to let that happen again. Like, this is your identity is running the ball. So, 15 carries between him and Hunt, I don't think that's going to fly again. So, I think they're going to focus more on the run this week. So I will go with Chubb.
Keenan Allen is officially ruled out Sunday. Mike Williams tested negative, so he still has a chance to play. Myles Gaskins on the COVID list should be back week 15. Darryl Waller is out. Nick Vanjo said that Melvin Gordon is questionable to play. Alvin Kamara is a full go. David Montgomery is a full go. After that little scare, I went and picked up Khalil Herbert a couple places. I ain't gonna hold you. A-Rob is off the final injury report. We'll get to that game. Mike Glennon is on track to clear concussion protocol, so he'll be the starter instead of Jake Fromm. And speaking of quarterbacks, what's his name? David Mills is now the starting quarterback for the Texans over Tyrod Taylor.
For the rest of the year.
Yep. Joe Burrow is throwing normally at practice, and Joe Mixon is looking like a game time decision. And Tevin Coleman is out, and I think that is it.
That is a lot of news.
Deebo Samuels is questionable now, so he might play Sunday.
He practiced today too, so it's looking like he is on track to play.
Mm-hmm. And Henderson is still. Daryl Henderson has still been limited in practice, so still minor.
I haven't heard too much news about him, man. Like, they play on Monday too, so that's like horrible. Like, if you're depending on Henderson, which a lot of people are.
Sonny Michel.
You had like the press conference where McVay was pretty much saying that he kind of was insinuating that Sonny Michel is going to have a bigger role even when Henderson comes back. So that kind of sucks.
And where is he at right now? How far am I away from that top 36 fucking finish?
Oh, shit. Nah, he ain't. No way.
No,
he's not close.
No.
He only had one good game. Shit.
He have a couple more. Hey, it's a lot of running backs.
Yeah, that's true.
Y'all got any other news y'all want to get to before we get into the episode?
Just real quick, bro. You know how people always say, like, you know, take your Thursday night players out of the flex. Like Hawkinson, like if you were to start, like, because I personally was doing that, like I was gonna start Hawkinson and Freiermuth, bro. And the fact that I put Freiermuth in my tight end position, because I had no idea about Hawkinson not having a chance to miss, bro. So now that he, you know, I put Freiermuth in the tight end spot, like that leaves me the option to take Hawkinson out of my flex and put another skill player in. So 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna matter, bro. But you know, you just gotta be prepared for when shit like this does happen, bro. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm fucked. You know,
damn, nigga.
Bro, I was in the lab working, and I got text like I ain't get the notifications, but I got the text message from, you know, the chat from y'all. I was like, Hawkinson doubtful. I was like, wait, what? Williams out, bro? Jamal Williams out, like, bro.
Like in redraft, I'm talking about in redraft. I don't think I'm going to make it now.
No. You're going to make it all points. You got the most points, and only one person can have the better record than you. Bro, it's easy math, Gabe. Yes, you're
I don't even be doing it, bro. I just be trying to, like, win, bro.
You look so sad, bro. I don't think I'm going to make it now, bro.
Like, it's simple, bro. You're going to have an even
like,
record.
Joe Mixon out, TJ Hawkinson out, bro. Damn, bro. What I'm going to do, bro?
Nah, you, like, bro, you got more points than me, bro. And, like, you've been climbing, having to claw your way back into this position that you're in now, bro. So,
so you made the playoffs, bro.
If you lose, you're 7-7. Nobody can, like, you have to have a better record than you.
Right. Or have more points than you.
This is what people, like, I'm literally losing people every week here. It's really getting crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
Every week I'm losing people.
Every week I'm starting people I never even knew played football before.
Without further ado, man, let's get into the first game, part 2. If you don't hear your game, it's probably on the first episode. So Baltimore at Cleveland, right?
Yep.
-3 points to Cleveland. So Cleveland is the favorite here with an over under 43. We already mentioned the Nick Chubb versus Zeke debate. So how do you feel about Baker's chances versus Baltimore?
Not good at all. He is a sit for me. He's only scored 11 or less in 4 of his last 5 games. 1 multiple touchdown game in that span. And on the year, he's the quarterback 26, averaging 13.5 points. So he has been straight. You know, he's dealing with a lot of injuries himself. Like he has like 3 different injuries right now. So it's good that he's, you know, toughing through it, and, you know, playing through it or whatever, but it's not translating to fantasy success. So I'm not starting him. They just played the Ravens before they went on bye. He only put up 11 against them. So he is a sit. Even in 2 QB leagues, I would be looking for like a skill player with a, you know, a higher ceiling to go over him. I noticed that Gabe did that last week too. Like, I don't even think he started.
I think I did it like 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, so he's not even an option in 2 QB leagues, I would say.
Who was that came on through the court show and said Baker was going to like
the hustler?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that shit too the other day. I was like, damn, that was not it. But hey, yeah, you can't get them all right.
You can't get them all right.
I know. I
drafted the motherfucker. I tried it.
He listened to him. But yeah, so Nick Chubb, of course, you're starting him. Kareem Hunt, he's a fringe start. More so start, I would say, but depending on your options, he's a fringe. Didn't do much in his first game back in week 12, but he did leave early with the leg injury. And like I mentioned earlier, they didn't rush much. They only ran the ball combined 15 times between Chubb and Hunt. So we all know that the Cleveland Browns want to run the ball, and that wasn't the Browns. I don't know what that was in week 12. So I think they're going to have a different approach this week against the Ravens. So I think both him and Chubb should see enough volume to be relevant. Jarvis Landry, another fringe player I got, averaging 8 targets since week 7, which is decent volume, but we know Landry is not a big yardage guy or a touchdown guy. He needs more volume to be considered a safe start, I feel like. So only reason I got him down as a fringe is because Ravens have been bleeding points to opposing receivers over the last 5 weeks, allowing the 4th most. So I could see him like as a middling flex play, depending on your options. And, you know, Njoku is out and Bryant. So they don't really have a lot of options out there. So Landry should see enough volume to be okay, but I wouldn't force him into the lineup. Which also goes for Austin Hooper. No other tight end out there. He didn't do shit last time they were on the field. He literally put up a donut. So it's going to be kind of scary to start him, but it just depends. Like if you're in a pinch, Ravens have been haven't been that good against tight end as well. So he is an option. He's a French start, but not a must start, definitely.
Who would you start? Baker Mayfield or Jarvis Landry?
Oof.
I'd probably
go Baker in that situation, man. God, it sucks though. Baker, yeah, I would go Baker because I feel like Landry needs a touchdown to be good. Unless you're in a full PPR league, man, Landry needs a touchdown to outscore a quarterback. So that's where I would go. What say you, Javar?
Yeah. I'm going Baker, but I like Landry. I think he's a great flex play. Seeing at least 8 targets in the last 2 games he done played. He's getting all the volume. So with 8 targets, he should get you at least 10 points. So I like him as a flex play.
On to the other side of the ball. Obvious starts, of course, you're starting Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews. He's this next guy is pretty much a must start as well. Devonte Freeman, he has been balling. He's pulled away from everybody else on that backfield. Since week 6, he's the RB14 and averaging 12.4 in half PPR leagues. Hasn't finished lower than RB34 in that span and has finished as an RB1 in 3 of his last 5 games. Averaging 15 opportunities, and he gets a plus matchup with the Browns. They're allowing the 7th most points to opposing running backs in the last 5 weeks. So he's as solid as it comes for a RB2 option this week. Sounds weird to be saying that, in 2021, like people were getting laughed at if they picked up Devonte Freeman when he signed with the Ravens, but he's the guy out there now. So
saving me and Scott Fishbowl.
Exactly. So whoever picked him up is laughing at the motherfuckers now. So he is definitely a start. Marquise Brown is also a start for me. Hasn't been as productive as he was to start the year. Since returning from the bye, he has finished as the wide receiver 36, 34, 43, and 9. Finished, and to start the year, he only finished below wide receiver 18 twice. So, and that was in 7 games. So hasn't been as productive, but I think that's more so the lack of touchdowns. Scored 6 touchdowns in his first 7 games and hasn't scored since then. But the good news is he's still leading the Ravens in routes, targets, and receptions. And so his usage is still pretty much the same as it was to start the year. He just needs to see that touchdown regression hit, and it should hit because according to PFF, his expected points per game since week 7 should be 15 points, but he's only scoring 11 points per game. So as long as that usage remains the same, I am confident starting Marquise Brown. Matchup is kind of tough this week because the Browns are allowing the 5th fewest points to opposing receivers over the last 5 weeks. But like I mentioned, that volume that he's getting, he's the number 1 receiver out there, besides Mark Andrews. As long as he keeps getting that volume, I think he'll be okay this week. And I'm not starting Sammy Watkins or Rashad Bateman. Yeah, they're not as consistent as I would like it. So Rashad Bateman did have a okay start when he first got on the field, but he kind of fell off since then. So
yeah, right now
with other guys.
I agree. When it's time to playoff games right now, you need somebody gonna score some points. So yeah, if he come through again this weekend, then maybe I'll throw him back out there next weekend. But I agree.
Facts.
Yeah, Mark Andrews is the wide receiver 1 out there for sure. Next game we got the Giants at the Chargers, 10-point favorite Chargers with a 42.5 point over under, another one of those low scoring games. We just found out that Mike Glennon is going to be the starter against the Chargers. Do you start Mike Glennon against the Chargers? Javar?
Mike Glennon, Jake from Gabe Holly starting. Nobody starting for the Giants against the Chargers. The Chargers have a great defense, and plus the Giants' offense has not been playing well. So it's not many starts on this team. Shaequan Barkley, the past 2 weeks, he have seen at least 17 touches, but not scored no more than 11 points in PPR leagues. The Chargers are allowing the 12th most points to running backs, though. But the Giants' offense has been horrible, so I still see Barkley as a flex play with upside because it's Barkley, but we just got to come to a sense that this offense is horrible, so it's not many opportunities for him to score. So we just got to look at Barkley as a flex play right now. That's basically it. I talk a little bit about the wide receivers. The Chargers are allowing the fourth fewest points to wide receivers. This is a rough matchup with a backup quarterback, and there's no upside anywhere out there. All wide receivers are boom or bust in desperate flex plays at this moment moving forward. The only receiving option I would consider starting is Evan Ingram. All his routes are near the line for short arm quarterbacks like Mike Glennon, and he gonna target the QBs. He had a healthy amount of targets last week, and I feel like with Mike Glennon, that should be the same going in for Ingram. So Ingram is a decent flex play to get you at least 8 points. And the Chargers are giving up the 11 most points to tight ends. That's pretty much it on that side. Y'all got something?
Just to piggyback off what you said about Evan Ingram there, Chargers also allowing or tied for the most touchdowns given up to receivers or tight ends over the last 5 weeks. So definitely in a good spot.
Yeah.
On the other side of the football, we got Justin Herbert. It's a must start. He has attempted at least 34 passes in each of his games this season. So that's a lot of attempts to get you points, people. Austin Eckler is a must start each week. He has caught at least 5 passes in the past 3 games and will catch more this weekend with Keenan Allen out. So, be happy about that. Scratch the notes I have for Allen. The Giants are allowing the 14 most points to wide receivers. So if Mike Williams come back, of course you start Mike Williams. He should be a healthy wide receiver to play with upside. After that, the guy Jaylen Guyton is a fringe flex play. Now he could be more of a flex play now that Keenan Allen is out, but he would be more the last people I play. I would play somebody else before him that has been playing every week that you have on your bench besides him. So he's more of a fringe flex play.
I think I play him though. I think I play him.
Guyton?
Yeah.
I mean, it's people desperate right now.
Somewhere.
Yeah, somebody gonna play him, but I'm just, he's just a flex.
You got Mike Williams, you got Jared Cook, and you got Eckler.
What if Mike Williams don't play? If Mike Williams don't,
if Mike Williams don't play, definitely.
He got a negative test, so he should just get another one. He cleared. So
yeah, I think
Mike Williams don't play for sure. Yeah,
if Mike Williams do play, you still don't like him.
I mean,
I
like
more
him
of a desperation play. I would
him or
say.
Jarvis Landry.
Landry, Landry getting them 8 to 11 targets.
I agree.
But I got Jared Cook. He hasn't done much with splitting time. Only if Allen and Mike Williams out was I feel okay starting Cook. If Mike Williams is playing, then Jared Cook is just a fringe tight end play. And that's pretty much it on that matchup.
Shout out to my boy MP. Gibson is going to be different this week. He been talking about Gibson. Hey, I'm on the Gibson train.
Hey,
I got 30.
I'm probably going to be playing him at DFS this week, bro.
Fuck, bro. I missed it this week.
You came back. You came back again to talk about Gibson, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate
you. I got me a couple shares of Dixon. He coming through with the volume.
You got tired of losing or some shit, Gabe? Why you ain't join, bro?
I forgot.
Tired of donating money?
I won. Yeah, I won one. I won second place one time.
I won second place.
Next game we got Detroit at the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos are 10-point favorites with an over under 42. The starts we got for the Broncos is not really much. Of course, we said Jamal Williams is out and TJ Hawkinson is doubtful. Those are pretty much the only starts that I had. But now that I did this before the TJ Hawkinson news, so of course it's different. But I think that you can flex Josh Reynolds. I think you can flex Josh Reynolds in the game where they're supposed to be expected to come back. He saw 7 targets in his third game with Goff, catching 4 for 69 yards. Nice. 12 targets in the last 2 weeks. I think he got a safe PPR floor. And I like Ross St. Brown too.
All right, so Josh Reynolds or Jaylen Guyton.
Reynolds.
Okay, they did come out and say Goff is supposed to continue push the football downfield, whatever that means. So
I'm gonna say Brown too. I think you could think about him too. He had 12 targets last week, caught 10 of them, 86 yards and a touchdown. He did get the most targets that he's ever seen, and that was against the Vikings, who's given up a lot of points to the wide receivers since week 10. And the Broncos aren't giving up. I think they're giving up the fourth fewest fantasy points since week 10. So his matchup is the easiest out of all the wide receivers. So I would start him probably over Josh Reynolds. He got Kyle Fuller, who's giving up a 58 catch percent, and he's graded at 49 by PFF. So I think if I would start a wide receiver, even though I don't think I want to because they don't have a running game, I would start St. Brown. Another fringe play is, I'm not going to mess his name up again, but IG. How do you feel about IG? Because I didn't really have much wrote up about him, but
Godwin.
Man, I had to be desperate. I feel like to play him, man. I always like the guys that's going to get the in between tackles work because they're also going to be using the passing game. I feel like have a better shot at a touchdown as well. So I would go with him, bro. But if you're desperate, like I said, he ran 25 routes last week, so he should be used. But I would prefer Jamar Jefferson over him.
I'm right there.
Him or Dante Foreman.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with Los. He'll be a desperate play. Probably just.
There's gonna be a lot of desperate plays out here with these lack of running backs. You know
I feel safer with Jefferson though. Jamar Jefferson. I feel safer with him for sure.
On the other side of the ball, we got my starts for Denver, Javonte Williams. Even with his first game without Melvin Gordon, he had 29 touches, 178 yards, and a touchdown. He looked exactly like we wanted him to look. Detroit has improved in rush defense. They're 19th overall. They're 19th fantasy points given up since week 10, and they're third worst on the year. So they have improved a little bit. Even if Melvin Gordon does play, I still like him. I think I play both of them, actually, if Melvin Gordon plays like they were before, the 50-50 split. Jerry Judy is the only wide receiver I would think about playing. He seems to be the only fantasy relevant guy out there. As soon as he came, Courtney Sutton I'm not Carlos Sutton. Courtney Sutton.
Sutton, my guy.
Courtney Sutton just, you know what I'm saying, just basically disappeared. The production went away. He's only had 6 targets or more once since Jerry Judy has came back, and he's had no touchdowns since week 7. So I don't like him. I don't like Tim Patrick if I don't like Courtney Sutton. A fringe player that I do got, I know people just hear the name and they think automatic start, but Noah Fant, man, he's been in the slump and he's pretty much disappointed all year. He's only had 6 targets once in the last 5 weeks, and he hasn't scored a touchdown since week 7. So he does have a good matchup against the Lions, who's giving up the 9th most fantasy points to the tight end position since week 10, but I don't think he's an automatic starter. I think he's in that like Kyle Pitts category. Like if you have a hotter tight end, you know what I'm saying? Like Fireman already
purgatory.
But like, you know what I mean? But if you have like a tight end that is like getting more volume and you feel like you can be able to start him, I would go I would think about it.
Sucks to be in tight end purgatory, my guy.
It does.
It's like players like Fant and Kyle Pitts, where it's nothing on the waiver wire that's really, that you feel more confident in, bro, but they're not doing shit either. Sucks.
That's about all I got for that game.
Bro, what is going on with this receiving game, bro? Like, I know, like, I feel like Jerry Judy coming back should have made it better. Like,
it's almost too many wide receivers out there. It's crazy.
Yeah, and Judy's not doing shit either. His highest finish is 22nd since coming back. We got freaking Courtney Sutton and Tim Patrick, like 68, 82, 58, 72, 66, 80. Like, it's gross, bro. It's gross, bro.
Ugly football, bro. Teddy is not looking that good either. Like, they just need a quarterback, bro.
Yeah, it's gross, bro.
On to the next game, we got the 1.5 point favorite San Francisco 49ers at Cincinnati with an over under of 48.5. Joe Burrow is expected to be okay with that pinky injury, or I think it was a pinky injury with his hand. How do you feel about Joe Burrow's chances against that red hot San Francisco defense?
Super flex leagues, I'm definitely starting him. 1 QB leagues, I might go with somebody with a higher ceiling. So not only have the 49ers been tough against opposing quarterbacks, 9th fewest points over the last 5 weeks, but the Bengals just aren't passing enough. They are averaging the 9th fewest pass attempts in the league this year. So especially with the way Mixon has been playing lately, like they want to run the ball, want to control that clock. So they have been doing that. And he has finished top 10 over the last 2 weeks, but he hasn't topped 20 points since week 8. So he's just been okay. So that's why I feel like in QB2 leagues, he's a surefire QB2, but not so much in QB1, especially with him not rushing at all either this year. So that's how I feel about Joe Burrow. As far as everyone else, Joe Mixon, if he does play, Zach Taylor did come out and say that he is expected for him to play. I thought it was fishy when I heard that because I remember him going out for a little bit with a neck injury, and then all of a sudden he's sick now and missing practice all week. So I thought that was a little fishy, but Zach Taylor did come out and say that he's expected to play, so I guess he really is sick. Starting him for sure if he plays. He's been on fire lately. Legit fire lately, bro.
Revenge here.
He's doing everything we wanted him to do. Like for the last 3 years, he's finally doing it. So it's great to see that. Jamar Chase, starting him. He's an obvious starter. He has been struggling lately, but I'm still not thinking about him.
He in that Pitts category,
exactly.
And Hawkinson category.
And T. Higgins is finally starting to catch up to him. He is coming off of 2 straight 20-point games. In that span, he's averaging 10 targets, 8 receptions, 126 yards, and scored a touchdown in back-to-back weeks. So he is the latest example of positive regression hitting. Like he has been seeing the same type of volume. He's been running the same amount of routes as Jamar Chase. So it's good to see the production finally starting to catch up. And then he gets another great matchup this week against the 49ers. Over the last 5 weeks, they're allowing ninth most points to receivers. And according to PFF, Higgins has the second highest matchup advantage among receivers. So he's a top 20 play for me this week.
I love
T. Higgins. Sits Tyler Boyd, man. So with Chase and Higgins there, he's already the wide receiver there, or wide receiver 3 naturally out there. And he also has the toughest matchup of the 3 receivers. So for someone like Boyd who doesn't get touchdowns, he needs that volume. He's kind of like a Landry. He needs that volume to be relevant, and he's just not getting that. Seeing just under 5 targets a game over his the last 4 weeks. So I will be looking for other options if I have Tyler Boyd. On to the other side. Obvious starts. If Deebo Samuel plays, you're definitely starting him. George Kittle is obvious start. I wrote up Jermichael Hasty because it wasn't looking like Mitchell or Wilson was going to play, but this applies to Wilson, I feel like, without Mitchell going. Bengals are middle of the road against running backs during the last 5 weeks, allowing the 17th most points to the position. So it's just okay, the matchup. But we know for the 49ers, the matchup is just a small part of the equation. They're averaging the 5th most rushing attempts per game. So we all know what their game plan is going to be. They're going to run the ball. They're going to try to limit how much Jimmy Garoppolo throws out there. So I'm starting Wilson. He's a top 20 play for me if he does indeed start. And Hasty, I feel like if the other 2 sit, then I think Hasty would be more of like a flex play because I don't think he's as good running between the tackles. I think he's more of a pass catcher back. Also, you got to think about Deebo. If he suits up this week, he should see some carries as well. So
that's what I'm about to say. I got Hasty as more like a fringe play because if Deebo suit up, we did see him basically take over the backfield the 1 week Mitchell missed. So
Brandon Ayuk. He is a start for me this week. Since week 11, he leads the team in routes, targets, and yards, averaging 10 half PPR points per game, and is the wide receiver 15 in that span. With Deebo being used more in the running game, that has allowed more opportunities for Ayuk in the passing game. And like every other position, the Bengals are middle of the road against receivers. So over the last 5 weeks, they're allowing the 18th most points. So I'm viewing Ayuk as like a high-end wide receiver 3, low-end wide receiver 2 this week. And Jimmy Garoppolo is a fringe start for me, averaging 18 points, and is the QB4 since week 8. Finished as a top 16 quarterback in 5 of those 6 games. But the thing with him, just like Joe Burrow, he doesn't have a high ceiling. He scored 19 or more points just twice in his last 6 games. But like Joe Burrow, he's as solid as it comes when you're thinking about a QB2 in Superflex League. So, and just like every other position, like I said, Bengals are middle of the road against QBs, allowing the 18th most points to the position. So he'll remain in that QB2 range for me this week.
Where is Trey Lance?
I don't know, bro. That shit is so annoying, bro. And I still haven't dropped him anywhere I have him, bro. Like, nope. Because the thing is, if they fall out of playoff contention, Trey Lance is going to be the starter. They're not going to. They already a report already came out and said that they're expected to move Garoppolo next year. Trey Lance is going to go into the season as a starter. So if they fall out of playoff contention, I still think Trey Lance is going to start.
We'll see, man.
If you need the space, drop him, bro. But I'm still holding him for that upside if he does become the starter.
I dropped him for Justin Fields. He was out there. I was like, same player almost.
One guy's playing, so
right.
I do like Justin Fields, but I remember we was going through the strategy of what's it called? Draft a late round quarterback, then draft one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was so close, bro. It was so close. They were like 4-6 or some shit, and they needed if they lost that one game, bro. But they went on like a 3 or 4 game winning streak, so kind of just put a nail in that.
On to the next game, we got Buffalo at Tampa Bay, 3.5 point favorite. It's crazy that this is the highest scoring game on the week, 53.5 points. We just seen Buffalo get ran the ball down their throat, so I think that Leonard Fournette could possibly have a good game. How you feel about the rest of them out there?
Nah, my bad Buffalo defense about to have a chip on their shoulder. Did you see that interview?
Yeah, I also
they're gonna come ready to play. What question is that? All right, they're gonna come ready to play, my boy. So Leonard Fournette might have a little tough game. You feel me? But I'm getting him.
He's still getting targets though. So I mean,
yeah, he's still straight, but not a huge week. I'm getting him in a minute. I'm going to start off with Tom Brady first. Tom Brady, of course, is cornerback 1 on a year, and a lot of people drafted him with like quarterback 8, probably 12th, the 12th quarterback out the board. So that's big ups to that guy, the everlasting guy. He never gets old, so you always start him. Fournette has seen at least 16 touches in every game since week 9 and has scored in back-to-back games. The Bills are allowing the 14 fewest points to running backs in PPR leagues, but Fournette has caught at least 7 targets in every game since week 9, making him a safe running back 2 this week. So, don't worry about Fournette. Just leave him locked and loaded right there. He should be good to go. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I got Mike Evans as wide receiver 10 and Godwin as wide receiver 6 on the year, but they face the Bills, who are allowing the fewest points to wide receiver. Nevertheless, start both of your studs as wide receivers too. This offense is explosive. They got one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game back there. So trust them every week, no matter who they play. Ron Gronkowski, since returning from injury, Gronk has seen at least 8 targets for at least 58 yards in every game he done played in the last 3 games. This should continue as long as Antonio Brown is suspended. But temper expectations, as the Bills are allowing the 3rd fewest points to tight ends. But if I got Gronk, I'm lining him up there because Brady loved the guy. He's going to find him. On the other side, you got something for the side of football? Y'all good?
Yeah, that's like I mentioned, like why I've been going for like the last 5 weeks as opposed to a whole season, because they did start off pretty stout against running back, but they have not been good against running back over the last 5 weeks. They're giving up the 4th most points to running backs over the last 5 weeks, over 125 yards per game and 6 touchdowns on the ground. So
how much is that as due to Fournette though? That one Fournette, how much is that? Oh, never mind. I'm tripping.
Yeah, no, for the Bills are giving that up. So Fournette is in it.
But I'm saying, how much is that due to?
You might due to New England game?
Yeah, to the New England game.
How much did they rush for? Like
200 some yards.
200 yards. So they've given up 400 yards in the past 5 games. Still not shut down. You know what I'm saying? So
I was just saying
you're still starting him either way, but I mean, as opposed to tempering expectations, I feel like he should keep rolling.
He's number 2 in the league in targets for running back, so that's why
exactly. That's why he's like you have to start him.
Yeah, facts. So nevertheless, you starting Fournette. Either way. Other side of the ball, my boy Josh Allen is a stud. He should bounce back this week playing Tampa Bay, who are allowing the 9th most points to quarterbacks. Devin Singletary, Matt Breida, and Zach Moss. Stay away from all these guys. Every week, it's a different running back to lead this backfield. Breida has been the most productive back lately, but he receives the least amount of work. So
you keep fumbling.
Oh, yeah.
They take that right out. He fumbles, bro. They take it right out, bro. This shit's crazy.
So just stay away. Buffalo team is pass heavy anyway. Stephon Diggs is making up for the low production in the beginning of the year and is a must start each week. This should continue as the Bucs are allowing the 7 most points to wide receivers. Beasley has yet to score over 8 points nor go over 50 yards since week 8. Beasley is a fringe flex play, even though it's a great matchup. I just don't trust him. Can't trust him right now. It's basically playoff week is this week, basically. So I can't just throw him out there. Sanders is the same way, averaging 4 targets and 30 yards in the last 6 games and having scored over 10 points since week 6. Sanders is also a French guy. Even in a great matchup, like I said, I can't trust Beasley or Sanders this week. They're boom or bust at this moment. Dawson Knox, on the other hand, has scored 7 TDs this year while scoring at least 11 points in 5 of 10 games he have played this season. He's becoming Allen's second favorite target, and he does have a great matchup as the Bucs are allowing the 8th most points to tight ends. So he is a must start this week if you got him. And that's pretty much it for that team. Y'all got something to say?
No, I like Dawson Knox.
He could have won them the game last week too.
Yeah, he dropped that touchdown.
Right. He dropped a lot of passes, and it's just weird how Beasley and Sanders just disappeared.
Just fell off the map, yeah.
Right. The only way I think they would fall off the map is Josh Allen fell off the map, but Josh Allen is still a top 5 quarterback, and they just I don't know.
I think the emergence of Dawson Knox kind of put a damper on that. So
and both of them,
and then Gabriel Davis just catches random touchdowns.
True.
He's still a dynasty hold. I feel like he's still showing flashes, man.
Because Sanders can't be there too much longer, right?
No.
Yeah.
Or Beasley, both of them older, but Beasley got the check. He got paid.
That's it for that game.
Yes, sir.
I've been waiting all day for a Sunday night, and the Bears playing the Packers. Dust count, double check. I own you guys.
Hey, I'm about to
for a Sunday night to play.
Woo! You get back, bro. Goddamn, what that boy got there?
Make sure I started mixing that shit in there. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I fucks with it, bro.
Chicago at Green Bay, Lambeau Field probably gonna be cold as fuck. The frozen tundra, 12.5-point favorites. Let's look that up because I don't know if that was after what's homeboy was named
Just Fields.
Yeah.
You can keep talking. I'll look it up.
All right.
Should be. Yeah,
that's a lot of points, but 12-point favorite over under 43. Chicago starts. Of course, we talked about David Montgomery. He was, a late injury add to the injury list, but he's practiced in full today. He had his first RB1 week since returning. Finished with 29 touches, 141 yards, and a touchdown last week. Green Bay since week 10 has allowed the 6th fewest fantasy points to the running back position, so I do temper my expectations with him. But Herbert was able to get 97 yards in the first meeting with the Packers, so that's a little upside. I don't think it'll be that grand because what's his name? Zadarius Williams and Jair Alexander are designated off the injury reserve, so they could come back this week. It'll probably be game time decisions, so that's something else to think about. Daryl Mooney, I got him as a start. Also, he's been super hyper targeted since Fields has been the starter since week 6. He's tied 7th among all wide receivers in targets with 42. And he's 18th in 20-plus yard receptions this year among wide receivers. So I do like him now that Justin Fields is throwing him the ball a lot. He does have a great matchup against Sullivan, who's allowing a 71% catch rate in the slot. And his first meeting he had, he saw 8 targets, caught 5 of them for 45 yards and a touchdown. Clement, I think, is one of the tight ends that you could possibly start over those like Noah Fant and Kyle Pitts. Since week 7, he's only seen under 6 targets one time.
Can't do Kyle Pitts.
Even though Cole did see his biggest target game with Allen Robinson out, he was still able to get 20 targets with the weeks where him and Allen played together. And that's what 3 weeks, I think it was. So that's a lot of targets for a tight end over 3 weeks. So I still like him even with Allen Robinson coming back. Since week 10, Green Bay has allowed the 4th fewest fantasy points and 0 touchdowns during that span. But I think that Justin Fields hyper targets him, so I feel safe with starting him, and hopefully he finds the end zone. It's the tight ends. What you gonna do? Fringe plays. I got Justin Fields. He has been named a starter. He did practice in full. Week 6 through 11, where he was a starter, he was the QB 12 during that span. Mainly due to him unlocking that Konami code that we like to talk about. During that span, he was 3rd in rushing among quarterbacks, only 7 yards behind Lamar Jackson. In the previous matchup, he did get 43 yards on the ground, and that's when he did start his running pattern. So I think you play him in Superflex League just because of that rushing upside. You can never sit that. How do you feel about Justin Fields?
Superflex leagues, yeah. Superflex leagues, you can probably get away with it. But he didn't do too good. I know before they went into their bye week, he had 2 great games, and then when they came out of their bye week, he kind of like shit the bed. So he's still kind of up and down. But in 2 QB leagues, I think he's. I think
it's prime time. Still a little show in prime time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of animosity, with the Aaron Rodgers, this kind of double check out only you guys type shit. You know what I mean? And it's almost like he was like trying to fight to play in this game too. You know what I mean? Because he was injured. At the beginning of the week, they were saying that he might not even play.
Zach Wilson or Justin Fields?
I don't like Zach Wilson.
He still got a decent matchup, and he did okay last week. That's what I'm saying. Like Justin Fields is kind of in that era with the French starters. You really don't want to start him. You'd rather have somebody else.
I'm going.
That's hard, bro. Better be.
I think Fields did more than times than Zach Wilson. Also,
yeah, I'm gonna go with the rushing floor for sure.
On the other side of the ball, of course, we're starting Aaron Rodgers with a broken toe, broken hose. Don't matter. Smoke him if you got him. And Jones, he's expected to play. He's been practicing this week. I don't see AJ Dillon's touches going away though, because he's been
Coach
so dominant without. Coach didn't say that. I just don't see it happening.
Coach came out and said he want AJ Dillon to get the touches. It's supposed to be
go away.
Oh, won't go away. Oh yeah, facts.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be a cold game.
I don't see that won't go. And that's
So I heard they want to use him down the stretch and like
fewest fantasy points. This is my game.
No, I'm just okay. My bad.
To the running backs since week 10, only 78 yards per game on the ground, and only 1 touchdown during that span. So it will be a hard game for no matter who plays back there. But I do think you can start both of them. Since week 10, AJ Dillon has been the RB6. He has showed he can carry that workload, and like Jabbar mentioned, it's getting colder, and that's a big boy out there, and I'm pretty sure it hurts to tackle him. You know what I'm saying? The colder it get. So of course he's starting Devonte Adams, and I think that's it.
So what you feel moving forward? Is it are you looking at Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon as the same situation as you're looking at Javonte Woods and Melvin Gordon? They're both just flex plays.
I need to see. You remember that game they played against Kansas City, where AJ Dillon had first started getting touches? I think it's something like that. I think Aaron Jones still explosive enough to like get his. You know what I mean? He's gonna get his.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like I think he could be. I think Dillon could be started more like a flex play than like an RB2. I just need to see his workload with a healthy Aaron Jones. Like last week or before they went on bye, Aaron Jones. You could tell he probably came back a week early. I don't know why they just didn't hold him out until the bye week, but they started pulling away and Dillon finished the game out. So I'm not really judging it off that game. I need to see how they're going to use him with a healthy Aaron Jones. So. I still am more confident in Aaron Jones, but he's definitely carved out a bigger role for himself, AJ Dillon.
I think it looks more like a DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams type situation. You know what I mean? Of course, with
AJ
Dillon not catching the ball as much, but I'm saying like timeshare wise.
AJ Dillon is catching the ball. Probably
I'm more so talking about just the timeshare, like as far as the snaps percentage. I still think AJ dominates. I mean, not AJ, but Aaron Jones dominates the snaps.
I mean, yeah, I guess with the snap counts, but AJ Dillon will still be startable with Aaron Jones playing. Unlike
say you have AJ Dillon without saying you have AJ Dillon.
Bro,
because you remember what he said about Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Daryl Williams and all these other guys with the backup, the starter return.
You know you got AJ Dillon. Nobody is saying nothing about AJ Dillon. We is agreeing.
Can I talk? Can I talk? Even with
AJ Dillon come back, bro. No, he's going to get a lot of
even with Aaron Jones playing, AJ Dillon is averaging around 10 points. All right, so I said, unlike Jamal Williams, AJ Dillon is startable with Aaron Jones playing. With Swift playing, Jamal Williams is not startable.
He said snap count though. So why are you getting all worked up? He said
no. I said they're not. I said snap count. They're the same player, but
40, 70, 30. We not even talking about the player, bro. I'm not.
But we're talking about fantasy wise. What fantasy wise in their production? You can still start Aaron Jones with that snap count percentage. You can't
bring the argument to your point. He said that snap count wise is going to be more like Jamal Williams and Swift, bro. Like we're not.
But
if about production, that's a different conversation.
Hearing that from a fantasy perspective, you're thinking, "Oh shit, I can't start AJ Dillon because he's going to be used like Jamal Williams."
He's not a must start.
So I had to put him in perspective. AJ Dillon is a flexible person, unlike Jamal Williams.
Yeah, flexible is not a must start though, bro.
He's not a must start for sure.
I didn't say he a flex play, but when Swift playing, he's not starting Jamal Williams at all. You're not even thinking about starting Jamal Williams.
No, Jamal Williams was on some starting lineups. He kind of faded away after the injury and stuff.
Week 2, week 3. After that, he was a dud. After week 2 and 3, he was a dud.
He was still on the field.
We don't play 14 games. We don't play 14 games. You talking about week 2 or 3? After that, he was a dud.
No, I was just saying he was seeing enough snap counts for people to consider him a flex play, and that's the same. Could be said for AJ Dillon. Like he's gonna be on the field enough to be considered a flex play, bro.
He didn't produce enough, unlike Dillon.
That's not the argument, bro. We just talk about the snap counts, bro. Like, is he gonna be on the field enough to produce, bro? I think AJ Dillon is gonna be on the field enough to produce, so he gets flex consideration, bro.
And that's not comparable to Jamal Williams.
Let's move on. He's just gonna argue what he wants to argue, bro.
If you didn't know, Jamar got AJ Dillon on his team.
And Jamar goes hard for his players.
Yes, he almost got tattooed on his neck.
I got everybody on my team.
I've said the same thing for the past 3 minutes, and Jamar just like raised his voice. So like to make it like we didn't say the same thing is really crazy. On to the last game of the episode. We got I've been waiting all day for a Monday night.
Hold on, you can't use the same song, bro. It's a Monday night.
What's this?
I forgot they changed the whole Monday night.
Dun.
Yeah, they fucked it up.
I thought they had a song.
It did, but it's not the same, bro.
It's like the old white man playing the guitar. Is that not it?
Yeah.
Or is that college game?
Yeah. I think it is. But anyway,
a good game. We got the Rams at the Cardinals. 1 point favorite at Cardinals with an over under 51 points. We saw Kyler Murray come back last week and do Kyler Murray things. How do you see him up against this Rams defense? They probably looking for blood after they got embarrassed in that first matchup.
Definitely starting Kyler Murray, man. He came back last week and dominated on the ground. He really didn't do too much as a passer, but that, Konami code quarterbacks, they can get away with that, you know what I mean? So we're definitely starting Kyler Murray. DeAndre Hopkins is also a start for me. I think they were playing the Bears last week, so they were, I think they just wanted to run the ball. Like, I don't think anybody had more than 3 targets last week. Well, they didn't have more than 3 targets last week, so I'm throwing that game away. So I'm not sitting DeAndre Hopkins, so he's a must start for me. James Conner is also a start. Chase Edmonds hasn't practiced yet this week. They activated him off IR, but it's not looking like he's going to play yet. So James Conner should have another week with the backfield to himself. And in weeks 10 through 13, he averaged 21 opportunities and 93 scrimmage yards. Finished as a running back. I don't think he finished lower than I don't have the numbers in front. I didn't write that one down, but he didn't finish lower than RB15, I want to say. So definitely starting Connor. Matchup is tough, but he's going to a 21 opportunities. It's kind of hard to sit that in a high power offense like the Cardinals are. So definitely starting him. Back in running back 1, maybe top 15 play, I would say. Other receivers, not really looking to start them, man. I know I said they probably should throw more. They probably will throw more because they're playing against the Rams. I don't think they're going to be able to get away with the limited pass volume that they saw last week, but I'm still not really trusting Kirk or Green. I would prefer Kirk if I had to choose. His primary matchup would be against Dante Dion, who has a PFF grade of 66 and allowing a 65% catch rate. So he'll be like a flex play, I would say. AJ Green, he's nothing more than a desperation flex play for me. He's put up 1.9 or fewer in 3 of his last 4 games and finished 46 or worse in that same span in 3 of his last 4. So AJ Green is not looking good for him, man. I think it's about the end of the road for him, bro. Zach Ertz, he's another fringe play for me. Ran the second most routes, has run the second most routes since joining the Cardinals. Second in targets, most yards among all pass catchers. But the matchup isn't great with the Rams allowing the 12th fewest points to tight ends over the last 5 weeks. So he's not a must start, but depending on your options, I think he could be in the conversation. And we can go over some of the options.
We got to start AJ Green and Zach Ertz in one league. That's ugly.
Zach Ertz or Foster Moreau against Kansas City?
Zach Ertz. I'm just going to take Zach Ertz.
Oh, man.
I do like Foster Moreau too, though.
I do go Foster Moreau against Kansas City. I got them one spot of apart from each other, so it's not too far. Zach Ertz or Evan Ingram?
Damn, that's hard.
That's a good one.
That over. I'm gonna chase the points, man. Let's go. I'm probably gonna go Ertz.
Zach Ertz. Yeah, I will go Zach Ertz as well. So that's just the range, depending on who you have, if you're going to start him or not. On to the Rams side of the ball. Must start Matt Stafford, Daryl Henderson. Never mind. I don't know. That's more of a tricky situation. Cooper Kupp is a must start though. Daryl Henderson, how y'all feel about that, man? If Daryl Henderson does play, then you got this report with Sean McVay coming out saying that Sony should be involved more. Would y'all start both? Would y'all start Henderson without would y'all start him if he does play, or how we feeling?
Running back landscape so ugly. He don't produce when he got the ball. If he's starting, I'm playing him running back 2. I'm playing him in the flex, just in that explosive offense, high over under. I'm playing as many guys as I can in that game.
Yeah, that's how
AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon. Not a player. If Daryl Henderson starts, if he do get word that he's going to be active and plays, and actually plays, not active like he was last week.
Right.
But if he is going to play, I think I do have to start him.
After seeing what Dalvin Cook did, it's hard. Like he playing
exactly, bro. So I would start Daryl Henderson, and of course, if he doesn't play, then Sony Michel is definitely in play again this week. Seen his career high in rushes last week, so they are using him like a workhorse when he is the starter out there. So that's how I feel about the backfield. Tyler Higby, he's more of a fringe start. Ran the 3rd most routes among tight ends. Finished with double-digit half PPR points in 3 of his last 4 games. Ran the 3rd most routes for the Rams since returning for the bye, and he's averaging about 6.5 targets and has a 15% target share over his last 4 games. So he'll be like in that fringe tight end 1 for me. Not a must start, but I do think he'll be a solid play.
Tyler Higbee or Ricky Seals Jones?
Higby.
What league?
Huh?
Huh?
I don't have that problem in the league.
Okay. I'll go Higby.
They round like the same area, so
I got Seals Jones at 17. Probably move up a little bit. Probably move him over Gerald Everett. And I have Higby at 11 right now.
Yeah, I like Higby.
All right. So no sits, flat out sits for me for the Rams. For fringe players, Van Jefferson, he's been pretty solid since they returned from the bye. Ran the second most routes behind Cooper Kupp, second in targets and yards, and finished 10th and 20th over the last 2 weeks. So he's been a solid like wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. Does get downgraded to a flex play in this matchup. Over the last 5 weeks, the Cardinals are allowing the 6th fewest points to the position, and he has the worst primary matchup by far of the 3 receivers out there. So starting him just because of what he's been doing lately. He's on the field a bunch. He's running a bunch of routes. He's
Robert Woods.
Target. But it's just the matchup, man. It's the matchup which gives me a little pause for him. Yeah. OBJ's in the same pretty much situation. He's run the third most routes, seen the third most targets behind Kupp and Jefferson. He splits his snaps pretty much evenly on the outside, so he'll see the combo of Marco Wilson with the PFF grade of 54 and allowing a 73% catch rate. That's where he'll probably need to see most of his production. And Murphy Jr., who has a PFF grade of 69, which is nice, and allowing a 60% catch rate. So both okay matchups, but he'll definitely probably see most of his production against Marco Wilson. So he's also going to be in the flex range for me. And that's it. Pretty narrow for the Rams, man.
Yeah, I'm starting OBJ. You probably don't have.
Yeah, he's been looking pretty good, bro. And they're getting him involved, bro. And I think he should just keep getting better as the season goes on.
They want him to be good, so they paid him. You know what I mean? It's not like he's just like a rental player. Like they want him to produce.
Yeah, that sucks. They let Baker get in the way of a stud receiver, bro, because he's not washed, bro. He's not washed. Like we see him out here producing, bro, without even knowing the playbook, bro. Like
Mayfield looks fucking shitty out there.
Just doing the freaking ball, bro.
Thinking about starting Jarvis Landry over him, like what the fuck?
Yeah, bro. I learned my lesson last year with Baker, bro. He's not touching any of my teams anytime soon.
Never again. That is the end of the week 14, bro. Next thing is the playoffs. So good luck to everybody out there, man. Everybody that's on board trying to make it into that last spot, or to all the people that got buys and that's chilling this weekend. Shout out to y'all. Man, tune in next week, man. We got y'all week 1 of the playoffs. If y'all make it, if y'all don't, tell the person that beat you, you know what I mean? Pull up. On the outro.
Yes, sir. Good luck to everybody except Javar and Dynasty De Niro.
We out and fight for buys right now.
I need Javar to lose in like secret too.
You need me losing secret for what? Placement?
Does he have more points than you, bro?
No, I'm trying to get the buy.
Bro, you gotta wait for Carlos.
I think it's Brennan. I think it's Brennan.
He's in another division, Gabe. Do you pay attention to anything, Gabe? You're in the division with me and Carlos.
That buy shit over, bro. I got that shit, bro. Goddamn,
that was last week, Gabe.
I see y'all boys week 16, bro.
Carlos told you last week was the game for the buy, and Gabe still here a week later, still thinking he can get by in that same league.
Can I go? It's session. It's session.